Up in the wood shop right now, working on Fergie still, and we're going to go over a couple of the problems I have with the hood. So here's the hood as it came, and you can see right here the side of the grill sticking out. It's not supposed to do this. That grill should be inset. You can see where they've bolted it in and apparently bent that flange all out. It's supposed to be in beside it. Here's the top view. Something not quite right there. Shows some of the dents in the hood. We're going to take care of. A lot of hammer and dolly. Smooth all this back out. This side has been broken and sort of repaired and broken again. So pretty ugly. Again, the grill sticks out here. And you can see how they've bent it and forced in the light there, all those dents and wrinkles. Not so good. And down this side. So we got lots of problems to deal with. This one is my main concern, these two corners, getting them to line back up the way they're supposed to. I'm going to have to blast this clean and do a bunch of welding repair, possibly form some new pieces and patch it. We'll see. Down the bottom is where it gets really ugly. So down here they've cobbled together some extra pieces. You can see the old holes and the new holes and how that was all welded together and how well this joint fits, as well as the front. This looks totally factory. Look at that. Space through the grill and how it lines up over here. Again, beautiful job. Look at that. Eat your heart out. So we're gonna make some new pieces and repair all this mess. Now inside, we'll show you the rest of the mess. And I'm working in my wood shop because it actually has heat. So inside our hood, you can see the mechanism that holds it up. The front brace is still intact. Inside doesn't look too bad till we get to here. So inside, again, all the bolts and some nasty looking welds. I'm pretty sure that's not factory. Got a bit of a makeshift type of brace in here. Not sure what that's off of. And a whole bunch more nasty welds up here. Don't look so good at all. So I'm going to begin by tearing it down and breaking it into all its individual pieces, and then I'll fix them individually and put them all back together. So I'll bring you along as we do this. So I've gone through the hood and I've taken that down to the garage now to be welded up. Gotta weld up the cracks and that in the corner. And the fenders, thinking initially that I would fix this and a little bit of hammer and dolly, straighten them out and repaint them. After tearing them apart and getting a real good look inside, I've changed my mind. So what you're looking at there is a crack in the aluminum. These are made of aluminum. And this right here is a nail head. Looks like possibly a drywall nail that started to rust or patina. And you can tell down here, there's one there, a little bit, getting a light there. And there's a couple more. There. They are not factory. They shouldn't be there. despite this pattern and similar on the other one, I don't believe that they're an OEM type fix. So same crack on this panel right here. Now underneath, despite this beautiful job and how well this lines up down here, this is what I've got inside. So I've got a patch here over the crack and this big plate all the way down with that cobbled together, messy looking welded chunk of garbage. And same on this one. Go inside here, again, not factory. And that nasty looking piece inside. Over to the other plate or patch over the crack. These little rivets, or what looks like a rivet on the outside, are really hard to see. I'll try and get it here on the camera. You can see a tiny little edge right there, and that's where they flattened it over a washer. Now the factory rivets look like that, and that's a factory joint. On both sides, inside and outside, that's what the factory rivets look like when they join two pieces. Not nails that have been bonded over, or not bonded over and just painted. .065 aluminum, which is pretty close to what this appears to be. It's just a little heavier, about a 1/16 of an inch. And I am going to make two replacement forms that'll mimic these fenders and shape, basically slap the aluminum over, and I will form it around some malleable aluminum. I'll anneal it, and through the process of annealing, I'll try and bring you along and show you how I do that and how I'm going to make these two replacement fenders for the side of our little Fergie. The other piece that has to be made, the bottom of the grill shell, and this was bolted right on the front, not how it's supposed to be done. It should be a flange that goes in between, just like the grill. And this was a piece of ductwork. So again, the non-original parts. As well as the bottom of the grill shell is short. Grab that here. Now, having gone through the bottom of the grill shell, counting the grill bars, there's 22 in all the factory pictures I can find, and only 20 in mine. So they've cut 2 bars off. Why, I'm not sure, but we're going to figure that out. We're going to have to just roll with 20, and I'll make this pan a little bit longer than the factory one. It should be a shorter pan. It's also not supposed to be flat. This rounds significantly. All the ones I've seen online, this piece here comes down and then comes in like this, round. So this isn't right. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to see about taking the braces out of the back of here, which again, little factory rivets are riveted in, and forming a new center bar to the grill, one that's not so beat up. This one's not great. So I'll do one in the metal brake, and I'll form up a new piece, and I'll make it long enough to include the crank hole, which should be about 2 inches lower. Crank hole should be down here, and then down, and that actually sits about like that. So when this is all assembled, this little space here should be filled with the extension of the grill, and the crank hole should be right about there. So I'm going to form up 2 half pans and that centerpiece, and then I'll end up putting it all together and doing the rivets down here like factory, and hopefully my fenders work. Online I did a little research, and I'm looking at about $240 US dollars right now with the way our Canadian dollar is. That would put my fenders about $100 over that in Canadian dollars, so $350 plus the shipping. They're going to be $200 a piece. and I'm gambling that I can make them for about 45 bucks a pop. So hopefully this will help somebody later on, and I'm going to get to making the templates or the molds that I'm going to form these pieces on. So we'll get those started, and I'll take some video along the way.